Good evening, everybody. It's called the Business Network Show. If you just turn on your radio and you hear that music, my name is Rex Perry. We are starting the show. We talk business, politics, and economics. We've been doing the show since 1999. It's an hour-long business show, and we try to have multiple guests talking about different subjects that have to do with business, politics, and economics, and we try to tie them all together. Our first guest is Anya. Anya, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Anya, give us your last name. Good morning. Give us your last name. Introduce yourself, please.
My last name is Salas, and I'm here to talk about an interesting new project, and I look forward to our conversation.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your background. Are you a native of Arizona? Are you what?
Sure.
Yeah, just a little bit of background.
I am not a native. I am not from Arizona. I was born in the Midwest and moved around to various different places. So I am a transplanter, as they say.
Just about,
and by trade,
just about everybody's a transplanter. That's
yeah. So I fit right in there. But I'm a therapist by trade.
Now, talk to us. First of all, we're going to be talking about a project that I've done interviews with before. It's called the Digital Democracy Project. Tell us a little bit about how you came in contact with them and kind of tell us what your thoughts are and what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, sure. So Digital Democracy Project just interestingly came across, through an email. I was looking at something else to be a part of, and it was one of the, if you're interested in this, you could, take a look at this other, they were having a
Zoom?
Can't think of the word. Yes, thank you. They were having a Zoom, and so, I just kind of, I wouldn't say stumbled upon it. I'm sure something with, things I was looking at kind of came across, and then when I heard about it, I thought, let me take a look at how the bills that are introduced both at the state level and federal level can be more representative of like what people actually want. And so that's how I came across them. That's how I became interested. I found the idea very interesting that I could voice my opinion, my vote, so to speak, on a bill. And that as this kind of gets more prominent or accepted by different politicians, then my voice could actually be heard more clearly on, what I wanted my representative to do or how I want them to represent me.
And walk through the steps. So did you get introduced to votes, voatz.com? Tell us if you got registered, how that went. What did you do?
Yeah, so the Votes app, it's two things. There's the Digital Democracy Project website, and there is the Votes app. And so both work together to vote on something. I downloaded the app onto my phone. I registered, which was very easy to do. It's a little bit of a process because this part, I don't work for them, and so I won't be able to fully explain the technology behind it, but they're verifying me as a voter. And so there's a little bit of a process up front, but once you finish that process, then the bills that are, they do have Arizona on the app right now. So state legislature bills are posted and I can vote on them. It's a poll. And so they have state and federal bills posted in the app, and you can just look through them and, express how they have a little explanation for each bill. You can get a little bit of a background on, what are three pros, what are three cons that people are saying about the bill, and then you can vote. And so it's pretty straightforward, very easy to use, very easy process. And then if you'd like, you can see how your vote kind of measures up, meaning, what is the current standing on that bill? So they'll show you a little pie chart and the yeses and the nos and how it's looking.
Excellent. Now, let me walk this through because I did the votes thing too. So, voatz.com, votes.com. Please, we beg you, everybody, it's a safe app. And what they do is they have you go in there and you take a picture of your driver's license and you enter your home address because everybody needs to understand that the voting records are public records. These are accessible to the public. So everybody take a deep breath. And now nobody knows how you vote, but they know if you're a registered Republican, Democrat, or independent. This is all public records. It's part of our election process. And remember, everybody, it's state by state. Every state is different. But this app is set up for all 50 states. It's very clever and it's very simple. And once you fill it out, then they have the ability through the cross-checking of the database that's for the state of Arizona to confirm the information that you put in as to your address and what legislative districts and district you're in. For example, on a congressional level, you have District 5, District 6, different congressional districts, and there are congressional representatives that you elect to represent you on a federal level, but also we have on a state level. You've got state senators, state representatives, you've got the Corporation Commission, you've got the City Council, you've got different areas that are going to affect your life. And people, I'm telling you, if we don't pay attention, some of these guys, I as a very young man, many years ago, got a chance to work as a page in the House of Representatives in the state of Arizona for a session. And it was eye-opening how many individuals had run for office. And everybody take a deep breath. This is going to be a shock to everybody. And it was all about the ego. They were there for their ego. I also will remember there was a House Speaker by the name of Mr. Kelly, and he actually worked for Salt River Project. So he was basically, that was his full-time job, was working for Arizona Public Service, APS. So here, and this is many, many years ago, folks. So this is how the utilities were able to represent and keep control that legislation wasn't passed that was going to make Arizona Public Service difficult and have difficulty. The president of the Senate at that session was named as Stan Turley. That was many, many years ago. And Stan Turley actually worked for Salt River Project. So the Speaker of the House worked for Arizona Public Service, the one huge utility, and the president of the Senate worked for Salt River Project, SRP, the other huge monopoly. They're the power companies, and this is what happens. People, we don't realize how there's this game being played because we're all busy trying to make our car payments and our house payment and trying to keep the wolves away from the door. And so this app is now helping us see what kind of legislation is coming down the pike. Does any of the stuff that you've recently, now again, that's digitaldemocracyproject.org. They're the ones that are sending the email, keeping us up to date. It was what kind of legislation. Anya, did you get any type of bills that caught your eye recently that you were that you actually voted on? Tell us what you've seen recently in the emails.
Yeah. So I think, let me just say two additional things. You can vote through your browser if you're somebody that's, on a computer.
Yeah.
And you can vote on the app, which is nice because how many times have you been in a waiting room? You're just sitting there. You can go on and start voting and, look at things and be informed. And when new bills get put onto the app, you will get an email. So, for example, I recently received an email that says sunny new bills. So that's for Arizona. Those are state bills. And there's quite a few that are really interesting right now. Several along the lines of various, different parts of the process for voting. So whether that's verification processes, who can vote. I mean, there's several in both houses, and then at the federal level, I also thought the SAVE Act was interesting, and so I took a look at that and voted on that. So there's quite a few, and how they keep up with like you were mentioning, the voter rolls. what is going to be the process with that? So there's quite a few bills that are very interesting right now that are directly related to our ability to cast our votes, to be heard in this, this is a representative democracy we're in. And so, interestingly enough, this is the 250th anniversary of our country, of the Declaration of Independence. And so, it kind of all ties back together. We want to be informed. This was very important to the founding of our country, which was we should be represented. People should not be making decisions, the whole no taxation without representation. People should be heard and their wishes carried out, right? What they would like. Somebody should be representing them. And so if we're not expressing how we feel, or I should think, what our thoughts are, our opinions on a particular piece of legislation, then it's really difficult for a representative an elected official to represent us adequately. They're perhaps guessing, they're getting a vibe of their district, but here we have a real direct way to say, as we get more people on the app and voting in the app, then an elected official could really hear what their district would like them to do on a particular bill.
Excellent. And that's what we're trying to promote. Think about it. You just said it. Taxation without representation, business, politics, and economics. And if we don't pay attention, we small business owners wake up and say, oh my gosh, I got another hoop I got to jump through. Now, we got about 60 seconds, Anya. Could you possibly stay with us through the break, and then we'll talk just a little bit more. We want to keep giving out voatz.com, votes.com. Everybody, get registered. This will be a positive for the United States. This will be a positive for Arizona. This will be a positive for your city individuals. And think about all the different voting and all the different laws. This gives you a chance to get a pulse and get your voice heard. Anya, can you stay with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, everybody, we're going to do a break here. We're talking voatz.com and digitaldemocracy.org. My name is Rex Perry. If you miss anything, go to our website, 123bz.com. It's really simple, 123bz.com. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back.